Hi friends, looking at the community in my stream chat for a while, I wanted to make some quick videos to clarify confusions while we are getting excited for Argos. If your question is, why do I have to use Grudge? Can I use X instead of Grudge? This video is for you. So damage would be attack power multiplied by additive engravings, and you multiply that with weapon quality, and you multiply that with multiplicative engravings, 1, 2, and 3, and so forth. And skill tripods are also multiplied, there's a skill factor, and etc. Lostark has additive and multiplicative engravings. Examples such as Cursed Doll, Adrenaline, Increased Mass is additive. Grudge, Barricade, etc. are multiplicative. As everyone knows, by math, multiplicative based increase is more efficient. For example, if you have attack power of 1000, having Cursed Doll increase weight and Grudge results into 1000 times 34% because it's 16 plus 18% for the two engravements, and times 20% on top of that for Grudge, which it results into 1608. But if I convert increased weight into Barricade, it would be 1000 times 16% times 16% and times 20% for each of the engravements, which results into 1614.72. Change is small, but the point is to explain which is more efficient on the long run. Crit damage increase is also additive, so if you happen to use Precision Dagger along with Sharp Blunt at 50% crit rate, would be 62% crit rate at 238% crit damage. This information can get very deep, but for simplicity's sake, let's leave it at this. Now let's talk about engravings. Cursed Doll, Grudge, and Keem Blunt are the most used engraving. I called this a universal engraving in my theory craft video. We also have damage engravings like Master of Strike, Supercharge, and All Out Attack. If you think about it, all multiplicative engravings are conditional except Grudge. For example, for Supercharge, it needs to be a charge skill. All Out Attack needs to be a cast skill. Barricade, you need to be shielded. So if all your main skills are charge skills like Red Gunlancer or Remaining Energy Deathblade, Supercharge is better than Grudge because it increases 20% damage. As for Barricade, Scouter isn't out, but when he transforms, he gets shielded. So Barricade may be something better than Grudge for him, even if it's a 4% damage difference. This is the same for Blue Gunlancer because he is shielded most of the time. All Out Attack isn't as efficient because Sorcerer only has 3 main DPS skills as cast skill, but due to the casting speed buff, you need it on all of the casting mages. Like I've explained on my Sork video, I recommend All Out Attack on both beginning Sorceresses because her main 3 DPS skills does a lot of damage when tripods and other attributes are not added. Reflux and Ignition does not justify your build, so please keep in mind on that. Every single engraving has some sort of penalty. For example, something like Raid Captain, it is based on your movement speed. If you get a debuff that slows you down, you lose that DPS gain. If you don't have enough crit rate, going Keem Blunt is a penalty compared to something else that is just purely increases your damage, like Grudge. So the engraving choice has always been one or the other, but it gets complicated when you start getting more than 2 or 3 engravings. Let's say you're running Remaining Energy Deathblade. Supercharge Remaining Energy is a good 3-3 start. What are you going to add on your third engraving? Well, you can't use Barricade, you can't use All Out Attack, or Master of Strike. It doesn't make sense. Master of Ambush? Maybe. Conditional, back attack damage increase, that's good. Adrenaline? 6% additive increase, with also crit rate increase of 50%, also good. What if you add your fourth engraving? What are my options? There are no realistic option that works with your character to increase your damage by multiplied amounts. Grudge and Cursed Doll is mostly your only option. Let's also go over Mayhem Berserker because he's unique. He can use Master of Tenacity because he has max HP cap at 25% when he transforms. So his options would be 3 Master of Tenacity and 3 Mayhem. What are my other choices? Well, Raid Captain could be good because he gets increased movement speed when he transforms, but it's not fully efficient due to not reaching max movement speed. By the way, max movement speed 140% will make it 18% damage increase multiplied. There aren't many choices other than Cursed Doll, Grudge, and Sharp Blunt. You'll have to use these engraving eventually. As for Cursed Doll, since your max HP cap is 25%, it is also a no penalty engraving for 16% additive damage increase. Therefore, Grudge and Cursed Doll is an unconditional damage multiplier. This is why people are recommending Grudge. They're recommending Cursed Doll if they don't have anything to recommend you about. The only penalty is you getting hit harder. To be honest, this is something that you can fix while you're playing the game. As characters progress into the later game, you will have to equip Grudge due to having no other options, but you need to increase your DPS. Do not follow recommendations blindly, including me. Figure out what you are most comfortable with and work on those first. NA's realistic engraving looks like 3-3, 3-3-1, or 3-3-3. If you plan to have at least 3 level 3s, Grudge is the only option to have the most efficient damage increase for most classes. Let's also talk about supports really quickly. Support's role is to provide shield and damage buff, and this damage buff is also multiplied. Their job is not doing damage, but providing efficient buffs and support the DPS. Their actual DPS pie is less than 10% of the whole raid. Therefore, you focus on survivability. So Bard has the lowest vitality factor of 1.52. What is a vitality factor? It's HP factor times the defense factor. The higher the HP factor, the more HP you'll have. More defense factor, the more damage decrease you have. That's why you multiply them together. Since Bard's vitality factor is too low, you usually go heavy armor 3. And which heavy armor 3 does is increases defense factor by 100%, which makes this into 160%, which will make the vitality factor 3.04. If you guys haven't used heavy armor already, you may notice a huge difference in survivability as well. Paladin, on the other hand, he's a Chad. He has a 2.31 vitality factor already, so it doesn't hurt as much as Bard does. So instead of heavy armor, which it won't be efficient, you would go something like Expert or Awakening instead. When you start increasing the number of engravings for your supports, you don't have much of a choice other than class engraving, heavy armor, Expert, Awakening. And you have mana related engravings, and a utility one, something like Vital Point. So I think this covers the video really quickly. Always happy to have additional conversations or make additional videos to help out. Hope this information helps. Thanks. Bye.